welcome you back to Big Monday presented by Bud Light. The XL Center in downtown Hartford is alive tonight as the Huskies are hosting the #1 team in the country and leading Louisville by 6 at halftime. Sean McDonough, Jay Billisville, Rafter. We talked at the top about the talented guards on both sides, and those talents were on display in the first half.
Boy, UConn played so well in that first half. Shot 53% in large measure because Shabazz Napier, Ryan Boatwright. You got to throw Omar Calhoun in there as well. Omar Calhoun, the freshman, had 10 points in that first half, but the guards were outstanding for the Huskies.
Well, Peyton Steve only having 4 minutes. Russ Smith was the point guard, the penetrator, the off guard, nylon, whatever you wanted. His blow-by ability and speed is extraordinary.
Peyton Siva is on the court to begin the second half. The largest lead for Connecticut was 10. Louisville down by 6, having played most of the first half without the Big East preseason player of the year. Napier, the handoff to Boatwright. Daniels, Calhoun, and Olander. The 5 to begin the half for Kevin Ollie.
And the first 4 minutes, I think, are big time for UConn. Pressure will be exerted and stepped up by Louisville.
Want to make sure you get a shot every time down if you're UConn.
Olander, nice move along the baseline. Tyler Olander with his first bucket of the night.
Well, he's coming off maybe the best game of his career at Notre Dame. He had 16.7 rebounds. He has not had a great year, but has really been coming on over the last 2 or 3 games.
Jay played with a lot of confidence on Saturday.
Well, that was a confident move he just made, getting right into Jang's body.
Russ Smith from the elbow, and it falls off. Boatwright, the rebound in, the push. Boatwright, offensive foul.
And that was that 1-on-4. Who's he think he is, Russ Smith?
And that's a big call because it was Siva with whom he collided, and that would have been the 3rd on Siva had it gone the other way.
Look at this, all the dark shirts. Goodness. Nice play, though. Great step up. That kid is one tough guy. Peyton doesn't throw interceptions.
Russ Smith. Oh, wow. Got it around Olander and up and in. 17 for Russ Smith.
That's a little Euro step, but you don't see it that quick in Europe.
You know, he can embarrass you, can't he? I mean, a big guy comes over, he just manhandles him with his dexterity.
A lot of players can embarrass me. That's no big deal.
For all the Europeans who are offended, that was Jay Billis, to whom you can send your mail.
He can
Peyton Siva, the bucket on the scoop. He has 4.
He just adds a different level of speed when he's paired with Russ Smith.
Napier will set up the offense. You mentioned Jim Calhoun was at the workout day. He was talking about the maturation of Napier, that he's really stepped into a leadership role with this team. And he turned it over to Siva, ahead to Smith.
Boy, he is ready to turn it the other way.
Well, that pair knows each other really well. Great pass ahead. And this was a concern of Kevin Ollie's, the turnovers. Going against full court pressure in the workout today. UConn was turning it over. You can't do it against Louisville. They turn it into points quicker than anybody in the country. When it's scoring off its defense, when defense turns into offense and they generate those, what they call easy baskets. You only generate easy baskets by working your tail off on the defensive end.
Now, you can relate to half of this. Russ Smith has 19 points. The half you can relate to, 0 assists.
You don't want him giving it up. Napier might find himself in the middle of that zone as well. Great deflection by Siva. There's more of his value. Doesn't get the steal, but he got the deflection.
2 to tie, 3 for the lead. This is for the lead for Louisville, and the 3 wouldn't go for Blackshear, but Bohannon with the offensive rebound and putback. 8 straight points for Louisville. We're tied at 36.
Relentless. That's what they are.
Full court pressure. It's going to wear you down at some point. You really have to attack it to score. You can't just attack it to break it and run half-court offense.
The last couple of trips, they turned it over against the half-court D as well. Nice compliment to the full court pressure.
It seems like Louisville, or it feels like Louisville's about ready to break out in this one. This is an important possession for UConn.
They're down by 10 tonight. 3 times this year they've rallied from 9 down or more to win. Omar Calhoun, a 3 for Connecticut. He has 13 points.
Some timely goals too. They were suffering at that point.
Well, he has been terrific in this game. Omar Calhoun has played his best game in a UConn uniform.
And the response with another 3 for Russ Smith. He has 22.
Talk about player of the year, huh? He keeps this up.
Olander, the crowd wanted to attack the basket, but he saw Jing coming back into the picture.
Well, you really have to present yourself as a receiver against this Louisville pressure. Nice pass.
Baseline shot goes for DeAndre Daniels. He has 9.
That's that Calhoun special. Jim Calhoun. They practice that tough little 10-footer, consistent with it.
2-3 zone.
Mahannon determined to get to the bucket, and he was fouled.
How about that move? Great feet and a terrific spin move and finish.
Speed.
He'll be at the line with a chance to give Louisville its first lead since it was 8-7.
Well, that's tremendous poise getting the ball against the zone.
Before they get in here downtown Hartford.
UConn
Very jealous, by the way.
The free throw, and Louisville has the lead for the first time since the early moments when it was 8-7. High pass from Calhoun over the head of R.J. Evans.
UConn shooting 57%, and they're down in this game because of turnovers, and they've given up offensive rebounds.
We're going to give away a nickel dimer there by Evans.
First foul on R.J. Evans. There's Jim Calhoun at the workout today. 26 years here. Kevin Stakem alongside.
Great Providence Friar, NBA player, scout. Now they can understand one another from the great Commonwealth.
Nice.
And got it through to the baseline to Jeng for the dunk.
He's put the ball on the floor going right and has spun back. One for a score, and that great
get it
feet.
up.
UConn team in trouble right now. Louisville, a much different squad with Peyton Siva in the game. 16-5 run for a 3-point lead for the new #1 team in the country.
This pressure just gets into your legs, and it wears you down over the course of a game.
And Napier hasn't been in the attack mode. I wonder if he's okay with that leg injury early on.
Daniels shot clanked off to Jang. Siva the explosion all the way to the goal.
Boy, the fumes coming out as he blows by.
All started by another rebound by Gorgie Jang. Last 3 games, 13 points, 13 rebounds a game.
And Siva picks up his 3rd foul.
He tried to explain to Rick, not the official, what transpired.
Well, going that hard, you're going to get a foul like this every once in a while. The first 2 fouls he got in the first half I thought were unnecessary, but that one was that was a heck of a rebound by Gorgie Jang and a really quick outlet.
That's where he's improved, I think. Gorgie is a good rebounder now. A deterrent in the center defensively, and finishes it off by squeezing it.
He missed 7 games with a broken wrist. They lost to Duke down in Atlantis for their only defeat of the year without Jang. And there's Jang blocking the shot. His 2nd. He said he needs to get back to blocking 4 or 5 shots a night like he did last season. And a timeout called by Rick Pitino. That's interesting, with everything seemingly going his way. He elected to stop the game.
Great execution here, Jay, but athletic ability prevails once again. Sadly, I might add, in terms of our careers.
So for Tuesday, the SEC Big Fire.
Now, can you see him developing offensively as the years go on?
You know, his numbers compare really favorably to Patrick Ewing's when he was a freshman. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean he's going to be as good, but he's got some developing to do, and I think he's going to continue to get better and better.
Good pass.
Napier, great block. as Blackshear hustled back. And then Bohannon missed the quick response at the other end, which was rebounded by Daniels.
Boy, not giving up at all. What effort.
Napier. Rebound, Jeng. 12th rebound for Gorgie Jeng.
Just about to say, you've been saying rebound Jeng a lot. He's got a lot of those things.
And now post up, he's ducked in.
And he gets called for travel. 9th turnover for Louisville.
Oftentimes when Shabazz Napier gets the ball ahead of the crowd, he's scoring. You don't see this very often.
No.
That was just wiped away beautifully by Wayne Blackshear. Was there a little bit of contact? Yeah. But not enough to call a foul. Just a great defensive play.
Defy handed it off. Boatwright speeds it over with Hancock right behind him. Luke Hancock back on the floor now for Louisville.
Well, they really communicate defensively, pointing.
All 5 guys facing the ball, not just seeing the ball, but playing the ball.
Boatwright. Again, the shot altered by Jeng.
There was a little bit of body contact, but that was created by Boatwright. Jeng went straight up.
The wiper.
Siva tried to split the defense. Boatwright stuck his hand in, and it went off Siva apparently and out of bounds.
Scoring is a problem with the big fella. He's looming. His ability to hang, and that's the body surge. I mean, every offensive player looks for that, and I think it's a pretty good non-call.
Yeah, it is a good non-call. You're allowed to go straight up.
Pressure. They get it into Gaffey.
Oh, no.
A bad pass. Boy, everybody could see that turnover coming. And then Gaffey fouled Bohannon to deny the dunk.
Not only was the pass improper, but stepping to the ball. So many fundamental things you have to do against pressure. And right now, the hands, the activity, and then the big guy in the back.
Well,
negating.
if the ball's coming your way for a UConn player against this press, you've got to run toward the ball to receive it, run it into your hands. Otherwise, Bohannon or another Louisville interceptor is coming to take it away.
Bohannon missed the first. Foul on Gaffey, his third. Bohannon is not a good free throw shooter, just 55% for the year for the sophomore from Cincinnati. He's on the Big East All-Rookie team last year.
An elite offensive rebounder.
Louisville won 30 games last year, won the Big East tournament after going just 10-8 in Big East regular season play. They're the preseason favorites to win the Big East in the coaches poll.
Speed and the double.
Well, Napier's pass was deflected, but he got it back. They've gone nearly 4 minutes without scoring now. 12 minutes to go. Louisville by 6.
This pressure from Louisville has been absolutely relentless in the second half.
And they know they're going to get help in the back, and a turnover here is just inadvertent. Got to protect it.
Well, he inherited that team through NCAA sanctions, and the team was essentially gutted. Had a bunch of injuries last year, brought a bunch of new players in. So they are a lot better this year than last year. I'm not a fan of relieving a coach in the middle of a season like that, but you defer to the judgment of Pat Hayden.
How about play-by-play guys?
I knew that was coming. Russ Smith a miss. DeAndre Daniels rebounded it. UConn very stagnant on the offensive end against this tenacious Louisville defense.
You are right. So they're going to get in the attack mode again.
Daniels short with it. Great hustle. But Napier couldn't get it to a teammate. Numbers for Louisville the other way. Smith scoop. Hit the rim on the way up. R.J. Evans.
Numbers here if they want it.
Both right the push, but so quick to get back is Louisville.
Louisville still looks fresh. UConn a little bit less so.
Wow, deep three by Boatwright, way off. And it wound up in the hands of Hancock. Looks a transfer from George Mason, sat out last year.
Settle. You mentioned Hancock. He had a couple of good practices before Providence and banged a couple of threes.
Excellent shooter, but he just hasn't shot the ball well at all this year. He's got a lot thrown at him. Trying to learn this system. It's one thing to play in practice, another to play in games.
Look at this pass.
Whoa, and then Bohannon missed the dunk, but got it back. Crowd thought he hung on the rim.
Good call.
They're calling basket interference.
Yeah, you're not allowed to hang on the rim and touch the ball at the same time. So I think with his left hand, he was still on the rim, with his right touching the ball.
Now, just a clever look, though, wasn't it, Jay?
Close.
Amazing in traffic what that little guy can do.
Both teams gone cold now. UConn hasn't scored in more than 5 minutes, but still down by only 6. Everybody coming back to the ball.
Look at there. There's your backflow. They do not give up on the bounce.
They just run right through the ball.
Calhoun took a dive and got the call. He tried to sell it earlier and didn't get it. Apparently there was more contact this time. Ware called for the foul, and Omar Calhoun will shoot 3.
They're very good at closing out and not fouling. They're usually under control, but the confidence to step the front people in the zone out 20 feet, 21 feet, is it a protector inside?
They're so quick. And Kevin Ware right now in the ball game, he's got a little more length, a little better size than Peyton Siva. Doesn't have the same, although Ware's an outstanding athlete. He's not quite as fast and quick as Peyton Siva, but you put those ultra quick guards out front, they can cover a lot of ground and create a lot of problems.
These are the first points for Connecticut in 5 minutes and 39 seconds. Siva in for Smith.
Now, Bill and Sean, when guys like Shabazz Napier and Ryan Boatwright are shaking their heads going, man, those guys are quick, you know they're quick.
They're beyond speed merchants. But I think mentally the key now for UConn, this team just pushes you into spots you don't like.
Bohannon from the free throw line and got the nice bounce.
Soft delivery.
Well, you have got to have poise to catch it in the middle of the zone and make a play, and Shane Bohannon showed a lot of poise there. Didn't hesitate at all.
So, you know, you're going to Louisville. Remember Muggsy Bogues? When he was behind you, you were in trouble. Louisville's the same. When they're behind, they stick that hand in.
I played against Bogues in college. He was 5'3", and always the strongest guy on the floor. You brought that ball down, he took it from you and made you look like a little weakling, and he was really strong.
Napier, and a tremendous rebound by Bohannon has been a force here in the second half. Siva left alone at the line, and that's a 3 for Peyton Siva.
So he's playing with such confidence, taking good shots.
Well, you just can't let a player come down the floor and dribble into a shot with that kind of ease. He didn't get a shot that easy in pregame warmups.
He's having a heck of a senior year. Goodness.
You see the evidence of the fatigue in Connecticut brought about by the Louisville pressure all night long?
I do.
And then he speeds you up too, Sean.
Second game in 3 days. Pass flicked away. This is the largest lead for Louisville. Siva, much improved three-point shooter. That had always been a weakness of his game. Last year he shot under 25% from 3. This year he's just under 39%, 14% improvement.
What would Coach K say if you left a shooter like that, like Daniels did? It wasn't as big.
It wouldn't be repeatable.
Yeah. Family station.
Boy, desperation heave by Napier. They've now missed their last 9 shots.
He says Louisville pressure is relentless. And it's kind of like body blows in a prize fight. You didn't see as much of it in the first half because Siva was out, but with the full court pressure in the second half, it's really kind of taken the legs and a little bit of the will away from UConn in the second half. You just don't see a look like that on Shabazz Napier's face that often.
It does get into your head. That's the key component in their philosophy.
UConn's gone more than 7 minutes without a field goal, and at the other end, it's Chang off the feed from Bohannon.
Louisville just cutting them up right now.
Yeah, you saw Shabazz just turn around like pleading for some help, some coverage.
Other guys right now outside of Napier, Boatwright, and Calhoun, they're not stepping forward to say, hey, I'm open, give me the ball.
It's not a deep Connecticut team. They have just 2 bench points tonight. A bucket from Gaffey. Napier thought he was hit on the release.
Nobody back.
Hancock Whoa! Acrobatic score and the foul on Daniels.
Well, he's just not a pretty face stepping out there shooting threes.
After Napier shot that ball, he was complaining about a foul instead of getting back.
17-3 run for the Cardinals. 2 halves for Louisville. And the big difference, obviously, they've had the services of Peyton Siva in the second half. And we're only 4 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble.
And the luxury of resting Smith when he's on the floor, so they're fresh when they're together. Great to see kids grow up, isn't it? When he first came in, he was a little bit wild, over-dribbled. Or
Kind of like in the old days where you got to watch a player come in as a freshman and work all the way to being a senior. That seems like it's a rarity nowadays.
Luke Hancock finished the three-point play. Louisville pulling away. They're number 1 in the AP poll just out today. Just the second time in school history they've been the AP number 1. That seemed hard to believe.
I couldn't believe it.
Earlier today, they went into the 2009 NCAA tournament, you might recall, as number 1, wound up losing to Michigan State in the Elite 8.
One of the reasons I can believe it, though, is back in the day, nice play, but back in the day, and Jang with another rebound, he has been an absolute rock for Louisville.
15 rebounds.
And that's without many touches.
You were saying back in the day.
Well, Denny Crum used to play a really difficult schedule early in the season and didn't mind picking up a few losses. That's not great for being number 1, but it's great for preparing your team to get to a Final Four and win it.
Hancock starting to put his signature on this one.
In the early 50s, they were pretty good, too. I like that. Very good. Did you save that?
In the early
His name's not John, though.
Goes right for 3. That's their first field goal in the last 9 minutes and 2 seconds. Now you would think down by this much they'd want to press, but you wonder if they have the energy to do it.
Well, I think it would be difficult to extend the floor and then still play some solid half.
Plus, there's plenty of time left in the game. You get a couple of stops and a couple of scores.
Steve, all kinds of dribbling, jumped it down, and Bohannon has scored again. He had only 2 points in the first half. He has 12 now.
Hancock with the push. His signature move.
What a tremendous move by Peyton Siva. Coming off the ball screen, gets bumped, a little crossover, and draws the defender. Anytime you help uphill, that ball, you're giving up a layup.
And Steve Nash, the tape that Rick had him look at, he's got to keep the dribble alive, make better decisions, keep his eyes focused.
Remember last year, Rick was saying he wanted Siva to play more like Maurice Cheeks. You know, turn down the 3, play more to mid-range game. You think when he said to a kid Peyton's age, why don't you play more like Maurice Cheeks? Like,
Maurice who?
One of the great guards of all time.
Well, Billy Cunningham knew who he was. He got Billy a championship.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can show Jay tapes of a mime. That might have helped. ESPN College Basketball is available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. So number 1 in the country, and that'll be tested on Saturday when Louisville is next in action back home at the beautiful Yum Center. Syracuse in Louisville. Orange back up to number 6 in this week's poll. That's 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon on ESPN.
For a lot of teams, the game is too long against Louisville. I mean, they just wear you out, both aspects, physically and mentally.
Would that be your ideal color man, Sean?
A mime?
Good afternoon. I'm Sean McDonough along with my color man, Marcel Marceau.
Yes. Or flying solo. I always envied Vin Scully when I heard him do baseball games by himself.
Sean could even get in a fight with a guy who couldn't speak.
Calhoun. Foul on Louisville in the rebounding action. We should point out that Peyton Siva, his last assist was the 545th of his career. He's now tied with Terrence Williams for second all-time at Louisville, but a long way behind LaBradford Smith with 713.
What an athlete LaBradford Smith was. Heck of a baseball player, too.
Did a great job defensively, and UConn worked on this today. Look at the help. Oh,
Siva, a steal.
they read passing lanes beautifully. Keep you busy. Occasionally run a trap.
Well, they're all playing the ball. A lot of guys play their man and see the ball. It's amazing how they play the ball.
Siva scores.
And they
He has 11.
And Sean, they play for this guy on the sideline too. What a magnificent, well-coached team.
Yeah, there are a lot of you said it, Bill. It's man-to-man principles out of this, essentially this 2-3 zone. But it's amazing how they move as the ball moves. They anticipate. They take away the obvious pass.
Well, they're almost on a string. React to one another.
That's Rick Pitino stomping his feet, if you can hear on the sideline over there. Olander's baseline shot wouldn't go. Calhoun in a good inside position for the offensive rebound, then he was fouled.
And I don't know if you noticed, did you see Siva run? He saw the trap, and he was going to step in for that outlet pass. They're just so clever and prepared.
4 fouls on Hancock. Russ Smith back in. I think Peyton Siva is living up to his Big East preseason player of the year accolades with this performance tonight.
Great leadership qualities too. Shoot it.
He's been a reluctant shooter tonight. Tyler Olander, you'd think he'd be brimming with confidence after the career high 16 points Saturday in their win at Notre Dame, where they ended the Irish's 17-game home court winning streak. Oh, Calhoun down the lane.
Pretty. Well, you don't throw long passes against Louisville. You got to be 10 to 12 feet away from one another.
Well, UConn got a score there, but that was an extraordinarily difficult shot by Omar Calhoun. You are not going to beat this 2-3 zone by Louisville consistently by just dribbling it.
Hancock out of the corner. Batted into the hands of Gaffey. 4 minutes to go. Connecticut running out of time. R.J. Evans bumped down by Gorgie Jeng.
Well, you got to think that Peyton Siva was well rested with only 4 minutes in that first half. Came in, didn't try to do the damage on a quick basis. Just reads things, puts it on the deck, left-handed, finishes.
10 in the first half. 3 times already this year they've come from 9 down or more to win. Jang took away for a moment. Napier tipped it, but Siva wound up with it.
Incredible.
Whoa, Bohannon missed the dunk. Everything was so nicely done until that.
What a sequence of effort, anticipation.
R.J. Evans fires an air ball. He's a transfer from Holy Cross. And Napier a hard foul as Smith went briskly to the goal. 3rd foul on Shabazz Napier. NBA action this week, Wednesday night on ESPN. Starts at 7:30 with Kia NBA Countdown. Then at 8, the Rockets take on the Mavericks. And at 10:30, the Heat and the Warriors. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm. Warriors having a nice year.
Steph Curry there. Where's Seth?
How about the job your old pal P.J. Carlissimo was doing? He must be using some of those plays you left him at Seton Hall.
Well, he sort of reached back a little bit, but he's been around, as you well know. I think working in San Antonio was really good for him. Working with Pop.
I'm glad to see him get a chance to coach a good team
Right.
in the NBA. You know, in some of his previous stops, teams weren't enormously talented. I think he's demonstrating what he can do with a good roster.
Not a bad backcourt. Joe Johnson and Darren Williams. Pretty good start. Brooke Lopez up front.
Gaffey for 3, long, and a rebound by Siva.
It's 3rd, I think. And Peyton Siva's only played 18, 19 minutes in this game. Got 11 points, got 5 for 6 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 4 assists.
You know, the one feature about him and everybody, they don't get tired.
Yeah. And they're in remarkable physical condition. Not that UConn is not. UConn's in great shape. But at this pace, to watch guards like Smith and Siva wear down great guards like Napier and Boatwright, well, it's amazing.
Yeah, you said earlier, which is pretty true, you know, keep him in front of you. Good luck.
Good luck, yeah. Always looks good on the scouting report.
Foul on Gaffey was his 4th.
Don't let LeBron get to the basket.
Step in on him and say goodnight. to your portfolio.
What did the Cardinal fans remember this? What did Coach K say to you about Purvis Ellison that night in the national championship game? Hold him to under 40?
Block out. Didn't work out that well.
That was in Dallas. That was, you guys started the program, though.
You know what? That was a great Louisville team. Billy Thompson, Herb Crook. Herb Crook had double-figure rebounds in that game. And Jeff Hall, Milt Wagner. A heck of a basketball team.
Milt and Thompson, both Camden kids in New Jersey.
Coach wasn't bad either. That Denny Crum was pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, they're going to give him 3 shots. Rick Pitino doesn't like it. Not sure if he's upset with the officials or with the defender, and I think it's the defender, Bohannon.
Well, he really doesn't bother the officials when you notice. You know, once in a while, give a little shot, but it's all about defense. Clever, huh?
17 foul.
First foul on Bohannon. Shabazz Napier at the line, junior from Roxbury, Massachusetts.
Did you see him in high school, Sean, by chance?
I did not.
He's grown up, too, I think.
He got out to a great start, but that's the first point of the second half for Napier.
He's been a great leader this year.
Now, this zone steps out. You're not going to get your open shot, and the ability to cover for one another even makes the penetration difficult.
This is the first time this year I've seen the body language of Shabazz Napier not at a high level.
Yeah, the dauber goes down a little bit.
Yeah, he's let this get to him a little bit, and understandable. I mean, this has been a difficult team to play against. It's the #1 team in the country for a reason.
To play them on a turnaround with one day is very tough for anybody. Not that Louisville didn't have the same thing, but it wasn't as difficult. Plus, they're deeper.
This 3 wouldn't go.
Well, look at Rick looking for the call.
He is the ultimate competitor. He's going to compete all the way to the end.
You know, this could be a first for us. First game, no criticism by Sean of the officials.
Well, that's not my department anymore. Jay took that away from me years ago. It's kind of a nice feeling, though, when the officials walk over here before the game and they smile and shake my hand and then cast aspersions at Jay. Such a different experience.
Never talk about officials, just a call here and there.
Boy, look at this coverage. Double, help, challenge.
Boatwright a 3 that wouldn't go. Calhoun in the right place. Down to 2 minutes to go, and Connecticut's down by 16. Napier well beyond the line.
Get that challenge on the rebound, so consistent effort.
Siva.
He's not giving up, Boatwright, though. But
No.
That's off Louisville. Siva hit that last.
Well, then it should go the other way.
And Rick Pitino calls a timeout. Didn't like the way that possession was going.
That's good, though. I like to see Boatwright try to rag him. Impossible to catch.
Well, in the first half, it was Russ Smith without his running mate for most of the half. Siva on the bench with foul trouble, and Smith was tremendous.
Well, Napier going underneath the ball screen. Set flat by Gorgie Jang, and so difficult to stay in front of it. He can make challenge shots. You think you've stayed in front of him. In the open court, forget it.
It's funny, he went under and he still couldn't contain him, but the ability to get to the rim has been consistent throughout his career. The judgment that has been exhibited by him has been extraordinary this season, I think. Once in a while, a mistake or two, but that's typical at this high level of basketball. But great leadership by Peyton Siva.
And tonight, that Louisville backcourt has been the better backcourt in this marquee matchup. Hancock surrounded and fouled by Calhoun with 1.5 minutes to go. Well, we mentioned Rick Pitino's competitiveness. It extends to a wide variety of interests, including Horse racing. He's owned horses for a long time. He's named 3 of his current horses after his players. Gorgie is a large, lanky colt. That's the reason for the name. And how about Rusticulous, who's a little wild, like Russ Smith.
Did you ever have a horse named after you?
One end of it.
That Rusticulous nickname given by Rick Pitino to practice one day. Told Russ Smith he'd taken a ridiculous shot. As in that's Rusticulous, and it stuck. It stuck. Like my mouth just stuck.
It was a mistook.
Our friend and colleague Leslie Visser once said about Russ Smith, he's the MVP for both teams a lot of nights. He's just one of those guys who can tend to keep both teams in the game. Get 5 a bucket.
That's certainly not been the case of Russ Smith this year.
Whoops. Well, he lost it out of bounds.
Now, even there, you notice he really seldom says anything about an offensive mistake. It's the defense that he harps on. And that's what makes them go. Scoring off the defense, the essential ingredient of the Louisville attack.
Well, we're trying to figure out which is the best team in the country. And Rick Pitino said today he thinks all these teams that are up there. There were 5 schools today that got at least 1 vote for #1 in the country. Because of parity, he thinks they'll all probably lose again. That's likely. But where's the weakness on this Louisville team as we look at the AP top 10 that came out today? Where's the Louisville weakness?
Not a great perimeter shooting team, a better perimeter shooting team than last year, even though they lost Kyle Keurig. But it's not a team that consistently knocks down perimeter shots. Their defense is so good, though, that I think it's not only going to give them a chance to win every game against the very best teams. I think Louisville is the best team, but the margin is paper thin.
If it's a weakness, Gorgie goes games without touching it. Doesn't have to. And he's developed an offensive game.
He has 16 rebounds tonight to match his career high.
Harrell, the sub, you mentioned his name earlier. He's another guy that's really developing his game, so it gives them some size underneath. I just think the mental aspect of playing against them, they just keep pounding you. Makes it very difficult to beat them.
Under a minute to go. Louisville on its way to its 11th straight win. They'll get to 16-1 for the year and 4-0 in the Big East. That'll put them even with Syracuse in the Big East standings. Marquette is 3-0. They are the only 3 schools remaining who are undefeated in Big East play. Marquette moved into the top 25 this week at number 25. UConn folks a little disappointed they didn't make it. They thought after their win at Notre Dame, 12-3 start of today, that they might have snuck back into the top 25. Boatwright for 3.
Now, a lot to be learned, I think, for Kevin's kids. They really come out of the gate prepared and playing to the end, too. Boatwright on that D the last time. Aggressive, and this time a little trap. Getting it back.
Oh, Rick Pitino really upset. See a very lazy, sloppy pass there that Calhoun picked off, and Rick's going to coach all the way to the end.
He's ahead, by the way.
Yes. Telling him to call a timeout if you're in trouble. Don't just throw it away.
Well, he's like all great coaches, and I think Mike does the same. Every play is important to make you better, and you don't slack off. You're consistent in your effort, your thinking.
Because it's not just this game.
Right.
They're preparing for down the stretch. You don't want to cement bad habits or not play through 40 minutes. They came here to play an entire 40 minutes. They played pretty close to it.
Crowd doesn't like it. I guess they feel like they're running up the score. What's left of the crowd, most have departed into the Hartford night.
Now why would they boo? They're sticking around. They want to watch somebody pound it into the deck and hold the ball.
Yes. Connecticut 12-4 now. ESPN News is projecting the Huskies as the loser of this game, which will drop them to 12-4. And you see their upcoming schedule. At Pittsburgh next. At the buzzer, will that count? Napier
they are
threw it up and
scoring.
in. Yep, they're saying score the goal for Napier. Rick Pitino and his Cardinals looking very much like the #1 team in the country in the second half. Siva back in action after playing just 4 minutes in the first half. The foul trouble, he made a huge difference. The tempo really picked up. And Louisville pulled away in the second half, outscoring Connecticut 45-26 after the break. Russ Smith leads Louisville with 23 points. Siba had 11. Zheng had 16 rebounds. Behannon had 16 points, 14 of them in the second half. And the freshman Omar Calhoun led Connecticut with 20. And now, after further review, they've wiped off that goal for Shabazz Napier. So 73-58 is the final score. Peyton Siva, quick turnaround. They flew in today. They'll head right back to the charter and fly home. A short stay in Hartford, but a productive one. Final score is Louisville 73 and Connecticut 58. Coming up next, Big Monday continues as Baylor takes on number 4 Kansas from Lawrence. Now for Jay Billis, Bill Raftery, and our terrific crew, Sean McDonough saying so long from downtown Hartford. We send you just a short distance down the road to Bristol.